Turbo! Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'll be teaching you how to manipulate game states by using a game state controller. It will be an invaluable skill for making games fast. In order to follow along, it's important that you already have Turbo installed on your computer, and an active internet connection will help you get the links in the description. Let's make some games fast. Game states are important for doing a number of things related to programming your own game. When looking at our basic document here, we have a Turbo Go loop, and if you try to accomplish everything in the Go loop, then you'll have a really tough time. Before I knew about game states, I would often get stuck a lot when trying to handle inputs and turning on and off bools. It would just get messy. With game states, you can avoid some common but frustrating pitfalls, and if you're starting out, this will be for you. Using our website, you can visit the Getting Started Rust SDK here, and you can grab the config in it and go here, and you can copy and paste it. For this video, I have my own template that I've kind of put in here, and it just cuts some of the fluff out. So now that you have your document set up, it's kind enough to give us a title and a level and an enumeration for screen, which is a big part of how we will change states. I'm going to add one more variant to this called cleared. I'm going to break this down now step by step. Step one is going to be making a start game function. So I'm just going to place it in and we'll go over it. This function will be our controller and how we can shift from each state. Now in actual practice, this won't be the only way to change our state. I'll show you that toward the end of the video. Let's go to step two now, which is making a state of game function. So keep in mind you can name these whatever you'd like. I try to stick to simple names for readability. If the other function handles the controls for changing the state, then this function can be interpreted as the individual go loops for each screen and what happens when you're on a match screen. I'll paste this here, but in the code you can see when it's matched to the title screen, I am telling it to do the following down here. Same for the level screen, same for the cleared screen. For this example, I did very basic things like change the background and just put some text in. Now, to make all of this work, we have to do a final step, which is going to be adding it to our Turbo Go loop. So this right here, we're going to need to put in these two functions. I'm going to save it and see if I run back any errors or anything like that, which doesn't look like it. So when I hit the space bar, because in my function here, the controller, I've said if gamepad 0 start, just press, and start is space in Turbo, it's going to match the state screen from title to level, from level to cleared, from cleared to title. So it's a full loop here. So if I hit space, it goes to level 1 Dark Cave, which is just a little text I added. Hit space again, it goes to completed. If you played a game, then hitting space to complete and start the level is probably not the most interactive gameplay, but as you can see here, I'm changing states. I'm going from this white background to a dark background to a green background back to the white background. And whatever's happening in the previous state is not carrying over, it's clearing it, and so this can be very useful. This all might seem kind of terribly basic, but it's a very powerful tool. Hey, one thing I forgot to say in this video is that having your project controlled through the game state like this is commonly referred to as a state machine. We have an enum right here that's defined in our struct game state, and this is where it's initialized to. So you can see right here that we are taking that enum and it's going to start on the title. And we've said that that enum has 3 variants, but those 3 variants are title, level, and cleared. We have a function that can address the controls, so when you make a change, when you go to one of these states, title, level, cleared, this is what happens. Final piece to all of this is we add it into our go loop. So when we add it into our go loop, it then runs infinitely, so we can always input controls, we can always go to one of these screens and something will happen. Now, with an understanding of how it looks at a very basic level, Let's look at something more advanced in my personal project, Hanger. So in my project, we have same principles that are happening in, so I've got title, tutorial, etc., etc. And then right below it, I have my state of game function. So in the little tutorial where I was just clearing the background and writing the text, I now have bools being turned on. I have more text. I have it jumping to the next screen, the tutorial screen, bools turning off, functions being called. All of this allows for something like this to happen, where you have like an interactive kind of tutorial briefing. Here is what I'm going for. And then even right here, you can name your character. So all in all, I've followed the same principles here. I have the state of game, my start game function, and then if I were to go all the way back up to my go loop here of Vig, it is the same size. So I've been able to make this entire game using the same tutorial and techniques that I've taught you here. This is more so an advanced application of what I've taught, so you can kind of go crazy with it. Now that you can see just how far you can take this concept, I'd like you to try your best at creating your own game state controller and share it in our Discord. If you're stuck, you can just start off with something simple like a title, tutorial, game control. All right, my fellow nerds, that's all I have for today. Comment below on what type of tutorial you'd like me to make in the future, you'd like to see, and make sure to subscribe, like, and comment to further your knowledge on making games fast. Join our Discord, get involved with our community if you get stuck. We'd love to answer your questions, and we also love to see just what you're working on. Turbo.